Oh, you geeks and degenerates out there, and welcome back to Murder Mystery Week. And as always, Nina's here, and in every video, Enzo's here, and of course, same with me. We have a horrible start. But anyway, today, since we've had the whole Knives Out thing, and there's no Knives Out 3, we kind of had to improvise with Murder on the Orient Express, which is a 2017 film starring, what's his name?
Sir Kenneth Branagh.
No, don't say I was gonna be like, let him say it, let him say it, let him shoot himself in the foot.
Yes, Enzo be my shit.
Who does it feature? Who does it feature?
Hercule Poirot.
No.
You. Sorry?
The other actors. Who are the other actors? Come on, come on.
Daisy Ridley. Dame Judi Dench.
What did you say?
Dame Leave me alone.
Wonderful
Why are you
start.
bullying me? I'm the one who's playing.
It's okay. It's just funny. I mean,
Yeah, shut up.
it's funny. What am I gonna do? Not laugh?
And also, God, Michelle Pfeiffer. I almost forgot
Yes.
about her. Yeah, so we got a really good cast in this one. But sadly, this movie didn't really get much traction from what I've heard. It didn't really get a following as like how Knives Out did, and especially Glass Onion.
Yeah.
So, going into this, what were your thoughts? Were you guys a fan of, well, Detective Poirot's journey with Agatha Christie books? Like, were you guys aware of those at the time or not?
Not really. Like, when the trailer came out, all I cared about is that Daisy Ridley was in it. I was like, yay! And then I forgot to watch it, so I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Somewhere in time.
And then he never did until this review.
Yes.
Oh, he actually. Oh my god. I, on the other hand, was a big fan. Like, I was, I remember seeing the trailer and being really excited because I loved. 2017 was like right after I finished writing my like high school thesis for Sherlock Holmes. So I was really into the detective genre because, oh my god, because of Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock. So I just wanted to get into the general what do you call that? The general genre. Yeah, and then so I was like, oh, this is exciting. Everyone knows this. And you know, I was like, let's give it a shot. So I remember getting really confused because there were so many names and I was not the type of person to take notes on movies at the time. So I was like, oh, that's just of course, and then Daisy Ridley.
Yes.
And then like Sir Kenneth Branagh and everything. So I was like, oh, really, really star-studded cast. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. And then I forgot. Like, I was like, a lot happened and I don't understand anything that happened. And I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't know if it was because it was me being 17 at the time,
Yeah.
even though I liked movies, or if it was because just it wasn't a memorable movie for me.
That's the other thing. I heard mixed things, so I'm like, I'd rather save my money for something else.
Yeah,
Same
exactly,
here,
right?
yeah.
I watched it. Nah, I'm not gonna say where I watched it for legal reasons.
I You watched it at a said theater.
I watched it. Period. I watched it.
But yeah, for me, I knew nothing about Agatha Christie's, murder mystery books. But my mom had them, Death on the Nile and Murder on Orient Express. And we have those books right there. But never really interested me until I saw the movie in HBO around 2018, 2019, and I saw the character of Poirot, and I was like, and it was, oddly enough, it was at the last part where he was catching the killer, and his hair was all messy, and his mustache was frayed, and it was like, he's a cool character. And I was like, and he had that line of like, he can lie, but I cannot. And I was like, oh, I like you, I need to watch this whole movie from the start. So that's what got me into murder mystery and Agatha Christie. I was like, this is really good, and as of right now, I'm on Death on the Nile. So yeah, that's our experiences with first. Fuck, you cut that part out. So those are our expectations.
Breathe, Jennifer. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
Just breathe. I can tell you're not breathing. I'm like, he's losing steam in the middle of a sentence. Someone
No
help
pun
me.
intended, since this happens on a train.
Oh my god. Oh, I didn't even mean to.
Yeah.
Anyway. No, I fell into that. Anyway, continue, sir.
But yeah, since those were our thoughts on the trailers or what our information was on going into this movie, we start with being in what country was this? Israel? Jerusalem, yeah.
He was in Jerusalem, yeah.
He was in Jerusalem. And they started off the case with the joke with the priest and the rabbi and the
Imam.
The imam, yeah.
I love that shit where he's just unfolding everything. And these were the three main suspects, and everyone's like, fuck these guys. It's like, oh shit, it was that guy. It was the cop this whole fucking time. Showing us the character of Perot. The Perot is a perfectionist. He's even like, particular on how balanced his eggs are and everything. At least he's fair, He's strict, but he's fair. He doesn't blame the kid for imbalanced eggs. He blames the chicken. But, yeah. And that's how we get this character. The guy's very meticulous, very, very perfectionist, and he's always on the nose, and he's sharp as a knife. And I love that. I love that introduction to his character. And we also get the character of Monsieur Book.
Yeah.
Monsieur Book. Like,
yeah.
What were you guys' first thoughts on Perot as a character?
Enzo, you go. I'll build up on your thing.
I like him. I like how meticulous he is. I like how smart he presents himself, and I like Kenneth Branagh's acting in all this. I know he's very, what do you call that? He's brought up to do the Shakespeare type acting, but when it calls for it, he does like other mainstream stuff. Like he was in Dunkirk. He directed the first Thor movie, and he was a part of my childhood because he was the narrator for the Walking with Dinosaurs by the BBC. So I'm like, he's been everywhere in my life, and I like him as an actor and a narrator. So yeah.
I mean, that's very surprising because usually everybody's childhood experience with him is the phony baloney wizard teacher from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or no. Wait, what was he? Why is he in Road to El Dorado? What was he? Miguel.
Oh, he was Miguel?
He's Miguel. Yeah. I was like, why is it on this IMDb? Because I was looking and I was like, he's Miguel, guys. Anyway.
Very fitting because Miguel's a very white name too.
Okay.
Sorry, it was the lowest hanging fruit. I was like, I get that.
For me, I was like, oh, okay, I see where we're going with this because it's like, obviously, Poirot was one of the initial, like, very early quirky detectives. Now, I didn't know how much they played it up. I haven't read the book, but what I'm aware of prior to his Poirot, there was another one who was like, and then there were none, or I think, or was it Murder on
the one in the 70s?
Yeah, the 70s was the one that was like the highest grossing British film. But like the Poirot from that one was like on the same level of like eccentricity as like, let's think, in Knives Out. Whose name is escaping me now? Jenna Craig's character, guys. Whose name is escaping me right now? What's his name?
Huh?
The character.
Blanc.
The character that he plays in Knives Out. He's on the same level of like eccentricity as Benoit Blanc, but I just didn't know how much they were going to play it up. They did play into the quirks of like he's a perfectionist, he likes being alone, but like he's not so much like Sherlock, at least in his iteration, in like recent iterations of Sherlock, in that he's so stoic. Like he's kind of like, he's like kind, which is okay. Like it's kind of hard to get a grasp on him because he's too much of a certain thing at times, but not enough of others. You know, because like Sherlock as stoic, Benoit Blanc as eccentric, and it's there, but I find that it's hard to kind of like understand what he's supposed to be. Right? But he is quirky. He has his quirks, but I don't know if I should be taking him seriously or if I should be taking him not so seriously. But I see the kindness, I see the heart, which is something I always appreciate. I didn't know. I was like, is the movie supposed to be gritty? But then he also does the things where he's like sitting at the table of bread and he's like, look at this, he's the heaven. No, no.
I
And I'm like,
that was off-putting. Where
because
becomes cartoony.
yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like throughout the movie, and it's not an issue per se because I will never. Sorry, it's the bias of a character is coming out of an actor. I mean, in that like I understand, but I'm trying to understand the direction they're taking with him. You know, because and also the mustache is amazing.
I love the mustache. People keep having like, oh, compare this mustache to the 70s one. The 70s one, it was barely a thing. It was.
Yeah, exactly. I would say like in the description of the book, from what I'm aware of, is that he has the best mustache in all of like. In all of England or something, in all of Europe, like, but that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you see him at first, and it's like, okay, he's very interesting, but he like at first you're like, okay, he's playing into that, but I don't know. I guess from the rest of the movie, now that I think about it, I was like, I'm very confused now. But sorry, continue. I went on a bit of a tangent there. I say in the squeaky voice of I have none.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I kind of like the direction they took it. For the beginning, he was a little quirky, where he's making puns with the whole rabbi priest and thing, and he comes out like, "Forgive me, I'm Belgium." I was like, right.
Belgium? He's Belgium?
Belgium.
It's like Belgium, the country.
My mouth ain't working right today because I know I'm hosting.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
But yeah.
Just
by the way, me and Nina would like to correct ourselves from our. Wait, was that filmed?
Which one?
Which one? First question, what are we correcting?
Yeah. You can cut this part out because I remember we corrected Enzo for Rose character being French, and then we found out.
Oh yeah, we might have. Yeah,
no,
I think that's our bad. He is Belgian then. That's our bad.
Yeah, he is Belgian.
He literally says it.
Yeah, but
because he has a French accent, or is
I guess
or is that like a thing?
It's like a mix.
No, but do they speak?
Probably.
What do they speak? Do they speak
French.
accent? Yeah, why does he speak so much French?
Because I think that's another language in Belgium.
Really?
Close
Sorry, I'm so sorry to the people of Europe. We're not very Europe-based. What do we
It's
know?
funny because the actor.
We're very isolated.
No, man. It's more just like we don't do European history.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Kenneth Branagh himself is Irish. Because he
He is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you ever heard the interview with him, and I forgot who, but he talked about growing up in the streets of Belfast. Pretty interesting because you think he's like a, what do you call this?
Very English.
Highbrow person, but you're like, oh, he's comes from very humble origins. I have a question. Aside, I know I talked about being excited about Daisy Ridley being part of the cast. Who else were you excited to see in this?
What do you mean?
Who else were you excited to see when the cast was released? Also, I'm gonna fix my headset.
Oh yeah, I was very like, oh shit. I'm glad to see Michelle Pfeiffer in more recent works now. Again.
Yeah, I agree.
But she was the one that I was like, mostly excited for, and that's it. And then I found out about Kenneth Branagh, and I'm like, he's really good.
Yeah, I was curious in Josh Gad because I previously saw him in a movie with Chadwick Boseman about Thurgood Marshall, which is the famous U.S. lawyer. So I'm like, he can do drama. I want to see what he does here.
He does drama.
He really can. He's really good. I have to admit.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. I didn't check the cast, so I was kind of getting surprised as people kept coming. Also, am I lagging?
No.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I was really surprised because I remember just checking, like, in the middle of this performance. I was like, who plays the queen? So I was like, Josh Gad! I was like, oh my god, you mean Olaf? But I mean, obviously, all of the younger people would be aware of it, like me included, like of his time in Frozen.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, like because it's a part in my head, right? It's like, oh, so he's one of those really good comedy actors that can transition very well into drama, which makes sense considering he wasn't on Broadway for Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
That's why he got to do Frozen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. Yes, Sansa?
I'm trying to think who else. I do like Leslie Odom Jr. here because I'm like, I like
Yes!
I like Hamilton, so to see him go up and
No,
make
no,
other
no.
movies.
No, I was hoping Drummer would get to that point where Daisy Ridley and him talk, right? Because I remember not really knowing who he was at the time I was watching, because I wasn't so much into Hamilton, save for just listening to the musical, but I didn't really get into the personalities behind it. And then so seeing him in Glass Onion, and then going back to this, I said, so he did 2 whodunit movies. Think about it, he's done 2 whodunit movies in his career. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm full of the cast. God damn it.
Yeah. I was going to say something also regarding being surprised. So over the time since 2017 when I initially watched it and getting better at realizing who does what, I was so surprised to see Olivia Colman, who,
Same
mind
here.
you, is absolutely my fucking favorite, like one of my most favorite actresses in the world. Like anything that she is the thing that will bring me to her. Like her performance watching Broadchurch, I was wondering to myself, like, she's playing a surprisingly small role, but then I was like, oh, because this is the time prior to her time on The Crown, prior to her time in a certain number of other movies, so this was kind of like her stepping stone, which is very interesting. I was like, cool, good to see her. I fucking love watching her. I mean, we're obviously past 1 minute. I can curse now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we pretty much, it's very odd because this doesn't really happen in the book, where they take a boat. This is where they meet Dr. Arbuthnot. Sorry if I butchered that
That's
name.
okay.
And Debenham, Miss Debenham. They meet them on a train in the book. Here they meet them on a boat. And then as they go to Istanbul, that's where they take the train, which is called the Orient Express. And this is where they meet our not so colorful cast with Princess
Dragunov.
Dragonmirov? No, it's not Dragonov. It's not
Dragonov.
Dragonmirov, right? That's what you were trying to say.
Dragonmirov, yeah. Willem Dafoe, Penelope
Drago.
Cruz's characters. I will not try my.
Oh yeah, I was also gonna say Penelope Cruz was also somebody that brought me into the movie.
And I was like, I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, because I haven't seen her. It's like the same way that I haven't seen like Salma Hayek until Eternals in a long ass time. Like I was like, cool, you know, something a little more recent. Like so, I was like very surprised. Love seeing her. Love seeing her.
But yeah, we also get introduced to a very important character, which is Ratchet, or Colonel Ratchet, if I were to be.
He wasn't Colonel. No, he wasn't. He was an art
He was just
broker.
Ratchet.
Yeah, they just referred to him as a Colonel. Was probably from the book you're referring to, and even then, that's supposed to be the Doctor, I think, because they called him Colonel but not Doctor in the when I checked the wiki.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
Might have been-
confused.
Yeah, that's why it's okay. Because I was checking the wiki and I was like, why is he Colonel but not Doctor? Obviously, having not read the books, I wouldn't have known.
A lot of these people were from the war. And
Yeah,
that's like a
exactly.
very big piece of the story.
Yeah, but he's an art dealer. If you're trying to
Yes,
keep
he is an
it-
art dealer. That
Okay.
sells art to the mob.
Yes, and they're all fakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the biggest part. Oh, well, this is where the movie kind of transitioned to the murder, or the more serious tone of the movie, where Ratchet confronts Hercule Poirot and asking him, "Hey, can you watch my back? Because I feel like somebody's out here to kill me." Because earlier on, where they met Michelle Pfeiffer's character, he sees a note. Well, they're pretty much death threats in his room. And he flirts a little bit with Michelle Pfeiffer's character, and that's when they move on to the dinner scene. And this is where they do the whole negotiation. Poirot says no. No matter how much money he throws out, Poirot says no. I was like, Chad, Sigma male mentality, right?
Can I just say I love him in this scene too, where he's like I'm happiest when I'm alone or something like that.
Yeah,
I love that line. I literally laughed out loud because I don't know. I just like the delivery of it.
No,
So many good
related to
one-liners. I mean, yeah, I related to it too. That's why I was laughing out loud. Like I wrote it down. Like I like this one.
Yeah, because Ratchet comes in, he's like, "Oh, I'm eating this dessert and feel foolish and kind of stupid to eat this alone." And Poirot comes out with, I am at my happiest when I'm alone." And
Tama, felt.
I was like, I think this was a cue for like Ratchet to like leave me alone.
Yes.
Because you don't disturb a detective once he's reading the Dickens. But anyway, yeah. So negotiation didn't really go so well. Poirot said no to no matter how much money Johnny Depp's character was throwing at him. He would say no, and for personal reasons, he just didn't like his face.
Yeah.
That was it. I mean,
Ugly joke.
yeah. Here, I could say that don't judge a book by its cover, but at this point, we'll make an exception.
Sure.
Because in the book, they do explain, like, Poirot just looked at Ratchet and was like, I don't like him. From his eyes alone, there is evil within that man. I'm like, okay. Yeah, anything to add, Enzo?
No, how do I say this? Every time Johnny Depp is not in eccentric makeup, I feel like he gives better performances than when he is in eccentric makeup.
I kind of liked him as...
Aside from Captain Jack
Sure.
Sparrow,
there's
like-
a lot of makeup there. What are you talking about?
yeah, like that's like exception with like a lot of makeup and he gets a good performance. But aside from that, his serious like mobster roles, I'm like I kind of prefer this than Alice in Borderland. Or sorry, Alice in
Alice in
Borderland.
Borderland.
It's Japanese.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. I would have also made the mistake if that was the most recent thing. But like that's the thing. It's like I think it just depends on what you last watched from a certain actor at times.
Yeah.
It's like if you were, because he does get typecasted, right?
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing where he's one of those actors that just gets typecasted into a very specific role. So when you finally give something else to another actor, like if you've been typecasted for this specific thing, and then you break out of it, you kind of are like so interesting, right? Like I finally get to see another aspect. Like it's the same way I felt with Margot Robbie being given a lot of bombshell roles, but then transitioning into I, Tonya, which is an absolutely groundbreaking role, like amazing. So I get that sentiment of like it's seeing something different from an actor. So yeah. But I like a very interesting point.
But yeah, and was there anything else that happens before the initial murder?
Race. Okay, let me read my notes. Dame Judy Dench, XD, love Olivia Colman. Racism, Willem Dafoe, something of a professor himself, blah blah blah. Daisy Ridley, I made this funny ass note because I was thinking in my head, Daisy Ridley is giving me Keira Knightley vibes for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the British brunette, like very mysterious British brunette, like gorgeous, and then being in a period piece, I'm like, I wonder what she's been doing since. Because if she doesn't pick anything that isn't modern, she could just be the next Keira Knightley for like younger people.
It's
Right?
Because she gives the same energy. Like if they were gonna give Keira Knightley something and then gave it to her, I wouldn't oppose it. Like it's the British brunette thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really happens until the murder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Like honestly, it was kind of like, I don't know about you guys, but I was kind of like, I don't feel anything for anybody. like I just kind of.
Except for Olaf's character, that's the one where I felt the most heaviest because he had like the best exposition.
Which one? What was the exposition? Wait, what exposition are you talking about? Like what?
Where his father had to like pretty much accuse somebody else who's clearly innocent to be the guilty, and she commits suicide. And then...
Doesn't that happen after the murder though?
Yeah.
Yes,
like
it does.
because he's being interrogated.
No, but I know. But you were saying that you didn't feel anything for anybody, but I felt.
No. I meant up until that point.
Ah.
No, that's what I was referring to. It's like I didn't.
You cut this right out.
No, I was like, that happens because I was trying to think to myself like, the murder is happening, but I don't feel or know or even really know anything about anybody in this like.
Well, I guess
movie, right?
No, that was the plan where we get their full character once we start that like doing our dissecting them mentally.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's just because like I wanted to feel something for everybody in the movie at some point, like because you have like you should at least have an inkling of like what these people are, but you kind of don't even get anything until after. Maybe that's just me, because I was just kind of like, I feel like everything happened and yet nothing. Like, what were the first 30 minutes for? Like, what were we setting up? But maybe that's just me. Anyway, continuing on to the actual murder.
Yeah, but yeah, so we see Hercule Poirot. I love that he has a mustache holster.
Yeah, he has a mustache thing.
That's nice. I don't think I'm capable of buying one yet. But if going through the murder, we hear a little bit of bumps, we hear a little bit of cracks. Poirot getting suspicious of what the hell is happening. A thunderstorm happening outside of the train, and then an avalanche, which stops the train dead on its tracks. No pun intended. Well, actually, no pun intended.
Yeah, because it's literally where it comes from, diba?
Yeah.
Yeah. So fair.
Yes. We find it odd because, for some reason, Ratchet ain't answering the door. And as the server comes in with his breakfast, Poirot checks it out, knocks a few times, checks the bottom of the door, full there. That means bad news. It's either snow caved in and killed him through the night, or murder. And sadly, it's the latter. So he breaks the door open, you get the scene, man's been stabbed a dozen times, and I am getting lost. my brain was... But yeah, we pretty much get a diagnose from our booth note that, hey, these things were heavy, some were light, and yeah, we would think that some assassin might have came in and killed him through the night and just vanished. But that's not the case, because there are a lot of clues left. Like the pipe cleaner, what else happened?
The
pipe cleaner, handkerchief.
The uniform, right?
Button.
Yeah, the button from the uniform. Major.
Yeah, so I like it that the whole... Okay. There's a little bit, spoiler-ish for the end of this video, if you haven't seen the movie. But I like it that they do try to derail Hercule Poirot into, like... Oh, it was an actual assassin who was actually after him, because he is a very, sketchy man.
Yeah.
As I would say.
Because oh, sorry,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
No, I was just gonna say, because, like, I think the point of that scene also, because, like, I was trying to think to myself, like, how come it doesn't hit as hard? And I guess because the reason why at the end of it was realizing that wasn't the point of it to be a locked door mystery, in that, like, you guys have heard of that, right? Yes or no? Answer! You guys are staring!
No, because, like, if we don't answer, it's a no!
Why can't you say no? We don't know. Like, give me an audible thing!
No! We don't know!
It's just...
No.
Okay, thank you. I was like waiting for a response. Anyway, but it's the kind of thing where it's supposed to seem impossible that someone could kill him in the night, right? Because the whole point was the train is not supposed to... Nobody in their right mind should be able to escape in the middle of the night from this train. And yet, we're being told that someone can? Considering even, like, the people that were coming in took 2+ hours. Like, they say it too when the murder happens, where they say... They're like, why don't we try walking? And she's like, we're gonna have exposure trying to do so. Like... I was kind of like, now that you mentioned that, I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a second, why are we bringing up that fact when, like, isn't the point that it's supposed to be impossible? Like, so that's why I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess.
It is a little bit messy.
Yeah, that's where I was like, now that you mentioned that, I was like, the beauty of this mystery is that nobody can leave the train.
Yes.
That's why I was like, okay.
I don't think they had the whole... I think it was supposed to be like a kill and run thing, where... Because they didn't anticipate the avalanche. Then the train stopped. And it obviously Poirot.
Yeah, exactly. So
it was supposed to be like, oh, well, unfortunate event in the train. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't have the world's best detective. Fuck!
Or... Who is probably,
At that point, I was like, this is why people were like, it's alright. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of get it.
You like,
But
what
go
you
on.
said, Josh Gad has the most interesting, or most likely reason why he would have killed Johnny Depp's character, because he is dipping into his funds, because he's trying to get revenge, because or try to save face, because his father framed the wrong woman for the murder of Daisy Armstrong, and that's really the heart of this investigation. That there are two, one being of who killed Johnny Depp, second being the unsolved mystery of the killer of the Armstrong child, which which really is like the Charles Lindbergh case.
Yeah.
And they do know who the killer is, but they didn't bring him to justice. So there was this whole scramble for who's the killer, who's the quickest to blame, and it was a whole mess. Lives were destroyed with the understandably so with this thing. And as the news tightens around the mystery, you're like, it starts connecting, and you're like, oh. But before we get to that, Poirot has to interview all the people in the train, and some are more mysterious than others. Like you learn that Willem Dafoe is a racist professor from Austria. You're like, yeah, seems to fit. Germany and Austria going that direction.
I know. I was like,
I forgot that was in here when I rewatched this movie where he goes, I don't want to sit with him because we're not of the same kind. I was like, well, you got different idea? Oh.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I completely forgot that was even a plot point in the first place. And then, of course, thank God, he actually turns out to be like was he American or British?
American.
I think he was American. Yeah, he was an American policeman, Pinkerton. Yeah, Pinkerton, because the Pinkertons are based off of the one in England.
Pinkertons.
Huh? No, Pinkertons. The Pinkertons were an agency based on.
I know. I was doing a reference to Red Dead 2.
No, I mean, that's right.
Yeah! Where do you think the term Pinkertons came from?
No, I was hoping Drummer would pick up on my reference, but he never did. Like, oh, okay.
It was not too big. The only Pinkerton thing I know is that album by the Weezers. That's it.
Wow, we all have different references to it. I love that for us.
Go on.
Anyway, going on. Where were we? I completely lost it.
So
I was laughing.
So Poirot and Monsieur Book were outside of the train, pretty much analyzing the situation. They interrogated everybody, and then they have this discussion of finding out, oh wait, Mr. Ratchet isn't the person he says he is to be. He's actually, what's his name again? Linetti?
Cassetti.
Cassetti.
Look.
Cassetti.
Wow. Cassetti. Whatever, I don't care. They're not real. Anyway. Yeah, Cassetti was actually the person who murdered the little girl.
Yeah.
We found that killer. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wait, do you guys remember how he knows that? I forgot. How does he figure it out?
No, they don't explain. They just know.
No, wait. No, doesn't he say at least something? Doesn't he at least say, he told me himself? Or am Enzo was going to say something?
Yeah, no, it's on a backup drummer because they never say how. They say, oh, it's him. But I guess he escaped custody.
No. Poirot does this twice.
Yeah, he does, right? That's what I'm saying. It's like...
Yeah, he does this with Castanello or whatever his name was. And Daisy Ridley's character.
Yeah.
The Daisy Ridley character moment where he's like, she's a nurse. Like, you're the nurse of so-and-so. And it's like, how are we supposed to know?
How did you know that?
Well, there's no Google. It's 1934. Oh, stupid cracking voice.
Yeah,
anyway.
you didn't go through our secret records. But yeah, he does that a lot, which I think kind of deducts points.
Yeah.
For the experience.
Yeah, I get that.
It's such a shame. I like it when they show the character smart, and he's like, yep, well, no, this guy is this guy. It's cool if you give us an explanation.
Yeah, I think...
He knows.
Now I understand why stuff was feeling empty when he would say things, because it felt like he was omniscient, right? Omniscient is knowing everything. It was like he was more omniscient than he is a detective. Because, okay, I hate to not that I hate, well, yeah, not that I hate to compare, but obviously because we are putting this in the line of Knives Out, and we are putting this in the line of an adaptation in the same line. It's literally an adaptation. What do you know, right? In that, like, how is it that we have this character that isn't explaining things? He's supposed to be explaining things. Like, he even, like, what's the point of having Book if he's not Book? Book, buddy. What's the point of having him if you're not gonna explain to him how you know these things? You know, like what Knives Out did. I keep breaking my voice. What Knives Out did better than I'm going through puberty. What Knives Out did better than and where Murders on the Orient Express like falls is that everything is tied up perfectly. Like even the mystery in Knives Out is solved by answering the biggest question of who hired Benoit Blanc, because that was everything fell into place until that moment, and then they wrapped it up neatly, and it felt so satisfying, right? Yeah. But in Murders on the Orient Express, he just knows, and it's like, okay, it's valid to know things, fair, you know, you're supposed to be smart. That's what Sherlock Holmes does.
Yeah.
But why are we not even getting like an even proper explanation? You know, it just seems like you're just good, you know, and like things, and then they so happen to fall into the trap of your bluff, you know, like it doesn't mean just bluffing his way and then like smartly bluffing, and then everyone that falls into it because they're like, he's so good, versus like, you know, just showing us why. So I'm just like, now that you brought that up, I was like, you're right. Now I understand why this movie wasn't hitting. I was like, because he doesn't say anything.
Yeah,
it's like voice cracking.
It's like, he's the killer. How do you know? Yes.
Yes.
No, how do you know? How do you know?
It's literally yes.
Look, I will say though, the ending of this movie does tie in a pretty bow, but the thing is, pieces of the bow are missing.
Yeah, exactly. Like we have the bow, and we have the heart, but we don't have the satisfaction of it, because it's like like this is my second watch, and even though like I got everything, but the only reason I did was because I watched it the first time, and now I remember why it wasn't memorable, because there was nothing about looking into the flashbacks, looking back, that felt like we were getting clues. We weren't even getting red herrings because we weren't even getting clues. We were just following a dude. It didn't feel like a whodunit. It just felt like a crime drama.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, go ahead, Enzo.
No, I like how each of their lives were affected, because the Armstrong family themselves are not existent by the time this happens. Like, the wife died in childbirth.
Yeah,
this is the
hardest thing. Like,
they're not in existence.
An outside factor is driving the plot forward.
And the dad,
and we don't even get a proper like prologue to it. We don't even like, you know what would have been good film wise was if we got a glimpse into like maybe Poirot being sad about never having solved that, and that's why he decided to take it on. Because if you're going to take an adaptation and make it your own, and because they're already changing a number of things, right, the least you could have done was he takes on more things because he was sad about not being able to take something else in the past. Like, instead of the driving force being helping his friend with the train, it could have been him feeling guilty that there was a murder under his nose again, and he has it, and he feels regret not solving it. Like, that does more for his character than just being like, no, Catherine, wala mo, you know, like, what the hell?
Right.
Right?
That was racist.
Oh, sorry. Was there? What do you guys say it like that?
No, voices. It's fine.
I'm leaving. Bye, guys.
I love this. I love this. No, but no, I get you. Like, there was no driving force for Poirot to even like
say yes.
Say yes, except for maybe another innocent bystander might be accused of murder. That's it.
How?
Where?
Do the passengers know he's the killer too? Because if Poirot doesn't know, Poirot knows, but does everybody know that Cassetti is the killer?
Yeah. Yes, because they're all related to him. They're all related to him in some way. Remember, the whole point of the car was because everybody got a chance to kill him. Because at every point since Daisy Armstrong's death, something related to them happened. Willem Dafoe's character fell in love with the woman who was wrongly accused. Josh Gad's character's father was drove to lost his job and lost a lot of his sanity because everyone was mean to him after he brought up the wrong person.
Yeah, and
what else? Daisy Ridley was the nurse. Penelope Cruz was the nurse. Oh wait, sorry. I said it. She's the governess. She's the governess. Yeah, she's the governess, and Penelope Cruz is the nurse. I switched it.
And
but everyone was somewhat related to something big happening. Sorry,
Leslie Odom Jr. was under John Miller before he.
John Miller.
Sorry, John.
Sorry?
Think of
Armstrong.
Yeah.
Miller. Wait, I was like, who's Miller?
I was thinking of Saving Private Ryan. No, he was under John Armstrong, and then he was devastated by the fact that he killed himself because he could never bring justice to his family, right?
Yes, because
the butler. Yeah.
The butler was the chauffeur who he served with Colonel Armstrong. Leslie Odom Jr.'s character became a doctor because Colonel Armstrong gave him a chance to get the job, get an education at all. So everyone is somewhat related. And then, what's her name? Mrs. Hubbard.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. Character is the mother, and then there's the sister on board, and then the protective husband who was played by apparently a ballerina. I was like crazy. Anyway.
The friends, right?
The most emoist ones. I was just annoyed by these two couples. I was like, I'm afraid of them. That's why I take that.
I know. I was kind of like, what was the direction they gave him? I don't understand what I'm trying to see.
I was like, are you guys just emo but 1934?
Yeah, like they're the e couple. They're the e couples of they're the e couples of the 1930s.
Point is, this movie is a mess.
I know.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, look. Subconsciously, we kind of went straight to the.
Yeah, because
this movie goes everywhere.
The movie. Look, okay. So our character Hercule Poirot just questions a lot of people and interrogates them, comes to the conclusions, sometimes very like, oh, how'd you get that? We won't ever explain kind of conclusions, and it is a little bit, how would I say, world-breaking? Like, immersive breaking. It breaks our immersion, sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. No, because like the word that I was thinking of is like there's always something when it comes to these movies called your like suspension of disbelief, right? Is that like when movies often have to do that where they make things just slightly make enough sense in that moment that people can just be like, oh, and so kind of became enough for me. There you go. Like when it comes to your suspension of disbelief, you have to be able to give people enough sense that they won't question it. Like, yeah, that sounds about right,
Yeah. You can't just be, he's the world's greatest detective and we gotta just stick by it.
And he's just God, he's just God, Like, he's the guy that read ahead to the book and came back and right? But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, there's nothing about this that suspends our disbelief. If anything, everything that occurs in the movie breaks it. Every time he opens his mouth, it breaks, and it's just like, hello? You were the man we're supposed to believe, and yet everything that comes out.
Especially with, that one makes a little bit of sense. With McQueen's character, where he just finds out that, oh, your father's actually a big name in law. Sadly, his name has been ruined because of this case. Yes, okay, that one's fine. That one... Let's explain. Anyway, we get to the scene where it's pretty much the Last Supper, with the mastermind being right down the middle. Jesus, no.
No, right? I literally in my notes say, not the Last Supper reference. Like, I literally have it. And also, speaking of, like, I have a note in the middle that says, did everyone try to kill him? Like, why are there more than one people? Like,
also, I don't get, like, so, okay, before that scene, he's accusing of Daisy Ridley's character being the murderer.
Yeah.
Because she is the governess, which was like a mother figure to the little girl who just died. And she's just getting revenge. And her what's his name?
Leslie Odom Jr.
Leslie Odom
Dr. Arbuthnot. are in a relationship. He protects her, shoots him in the shoulder, and goes, "Why aren't you dead yet?" And I'm like, what does that mean? Right?
No, I think okay. See, the thing is, right? The movie tried to justify it by saying the reason you asked me why I'm not dead yet is because you're not a killer. You're a soldier, but your position is like a surgeon. You're not a killer, and it's just like he was trying to kill you though in the moment.
No, but I get what he means though, because the guy Arbuthnot was a sniper in the war.
Yeah,
So
it's like
this-
how do you miss and stuff like that. This is the episode where Nina. That was a very Spanish accent, surprisingly.
I don't know.
How do you miss? Not the Italian coming out. Joe doing the Italian. This is the episode where we confuse our European countries. Belgium, by the way, speaks French too and German, so it makes sense. But also, it's so funny. Filipinos talk about the EU. Joe, come back to us. Come back.
I'm dying because I love it when Nina just makes impressions of whatever country she's trying to do.
You did one too.
Yeah, but that's in character to me.
What? No, because okay, you have to hear me out, okay? He was a little dramatic, not even a little, he was really dramatic. And it's just like, why are you monologuing? You didn't want to talk. It's like, why are you monologuing? Like, what is up with these detectives with like a thing? Like, they have a penchant for the theatrics of bully showing the monologues. You know, like Benoit Bugs, and he's just stupid. Yo, just stupid. And like, what else? And what was I saying? It's like, what is up with these? And of course, it's a movie. It makes sense. But it's just like, it's like mind breaking to me, right? Okay, this whole movie is breaking my mind because I'm just like, I even made a stupid like thing.
Connect the dots with this stupid movie.
It's so funny. Anyway, but what I'm just saying is like, why does he know that Penelope Cruz is the first? Why does he know that Mr. Marquez was invested to by Colonel Armstrong? Like, how? You don't have Google, bitch.
I don't know. Anyway. Let's finish this. Let's fucking finish this. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Throat hurts from laughing.
But
Go ahead.
Nina is right. Like, Hercule Poirot here, I know is a good detective. I read the books. By the way, I'm not saying a lot of parts from the book because I gotta say it does it better. It explains a lot of the things way better compared to this. I get it. They just had an hour and 59 minutes to show us what happened from point A to point B. But you gotta explain shit. You gotta write this a little bit better.
At least show us how you know.
I don't think I blame Kenneth Branagh here unless he's the writer as well.
No, the screenplay was done by somebody else, but I just think, I don't know, man. I'm just also kind of like.
This scene was amazing, though. This scene was great. Them in the table, him explaining. Let's just say they explain to us why he knows all these characters' roles, where they come from, and why do they relate to that one case to killing Johnny Depp's character. Seeing this scene go throughout, and he's like, all of you are good people, but you just happen to be connected by one bad thing, and this bad thing bled into you guys. And then he pulls out the gun, and he's like, I can't lie. Monsieur Book can. I cannot. Puts down the gun right in front of them, and he's like, you have to shoot me, or else I have to say it because justice. This very bleak. Ooh, we thought it would be bleak. Where you gotta shoot the detective because, again, he can't lie. So, Michelle Pfeiffer's character was like, none of them deserves it. They all have a chance of being happy. Me, I am out of lives. No pun intended, because she was Carol. And tries to shoot herself, showing Poirot that, hey, she's willing to take her life instead of another. Showing that she's a good person, and Poirot comes to the conclusion that maybe this one I could let slip.
Yeah, I think also the individual. I think, oh my god, it felt like such a big waste because there were such good performances from everybody. Like everybody was okay. Maybe not the couple in that like one. I have to
I
kind
don't
of
like the couple either.
I would argue that might be the direction that might have been an issue, like giving them the direction that they were. But because sometimes the directions were weird. Like I was like, why were you doing this? But individual performances were wonderful, and I think that that's great. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, Olivia Colman, and like even like Daisy Ridley, obviously Leslie Odom Jr. Like everybody's individual performances. It's just that the way that it was edited, written, and the direction that they were going with, it just didn't lend to the feeling. Like it just kind of felt like, what was the point of doing a whodunit when the audience can't help wanting to bring in the clues? But so many of the clues were absent that we like. The fun of it is being able to go back and read into it. But I was just as lost as the first time I was watching it, and there were so many things missing. Like, why make a whodunit if you're not gonna let the audience do anything themselves? Just make it random crime drama. Don't put Agatha Christie into this.
Yeah, I just wish again they explain more. You were saying, Enzo?
I was about to say, like, I feel like that scene could have been better if the characters themselves got more depth. Like just because we're all humans, that we sympathize with the mom, the caretaker, the sister. Like, oh shit, you went through this horrible tragedy. But like, really, there's not much development for me to be really like. Because I feel like if you're watching this movie, there's a scene where you all, start bringing out the tissues and be like, oh no, I feel so bad for these people. But I'm just like, wait, so he's in love with the French maid, and then he's the sister of the French maid, and then I'm expecting the mailman to show up too. So they're all connected.
But you see, the thing is that right? Like, correct. It's the kind of thing where it's like, why even have this movie if we're not gonna connect with the people? The mystery was barely anything. But so the second thing that we should have fallen on was the cast itself, which is, mind you, a really big element of the movie, and we don't even get that, and everything just kind of falls short. Like the visuals was so annoying. Like, I put in my notes when the scene where they all go into the train, and I'm like, and Poirot didn't fucking hear that, but also I was like, Poirot didn't hear that?
Yeah, they're in a train, there's a storm happening, chugga,
Yeah, chugga. But that's the thing, right? Like the whole time, like it's just like one of those moments where you put a clip and make sad music, and then they say it, like, and it's just like, am I supposed to be sad? Like, you're telling me I'm supposed to be sad. I can hear and see things that are supposed to be sad, yet I don't. Like, if anything, I'm just kind of like, this is awkward to watch. Like everyone just going up, grabbing the knife and stabbing.
It's trying to my turn.
Right? I'm like, why am I watching this? It's kind of awkward. Like, and there were so many visual choices that I have to mention. Like the top-down view, every so often was okay. Like the first time it happened, I was like, I love this. And then the time that they're in the body and it's just top-down, I'm like, I'm not playing Clue. Stop. Like,
I guess that was the
point, but it felt like I was like, couldn't you have done something better? Like, what is the visual style that you're trying to emulate? You're just giving James Cameron, it's a movie. And even James Cameron has a great movie. It looks visually great. Like, sorry, I'm just like really mad because I'm like, you had so much. You were literally adapting something. What? Why?
Okay.
Anyway, sorry.
That being
going back to Nina's.
Would you rate this movie?
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Enzo.
Suppose you're going to Nina or Drummer's point. Like, for a detective, you really don't know what someone sounds like when they're being stabbed like 12 times. Yeah, there's a storm, but you don't hear the
Well, I guess that's why they that's why they covered his mouth. I'm not. I say that
what
one's
happened
like,
to the gun? Oh, wait, they probably
he couldn't have it because he was asleep.
Yeah.
No, but he was awake in the
yeah, but when multiple people.
He was awake. He was screaming. That's why.
It would have been better if they just It would have been better if they just like left them like just asleep, and that's how knocked out he was. Just like
Maybe we just don't know how drugs work. What do barbitals do? I've never heard that drug before, or what that does to somebody until now.
it's one of like Solomon's 72.
Whatever drugs they gave him wasn't effective.
What? What is this a reference to?
So it's a barbatos. Sorry.
I'm a barbatos. Okay, anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Enzo.
Whatever drugs they gave him wasn't enough to do the job effectively because the poor bastard was awake too.
Listen, why couldn't you have brought more knives?
That's what I'm just saying. It's so awkward. It's just literally people standing around. Visually, and then they're just like passing around the knife and like stabbing it. Like that's so weird.
Now that you think about it, a train or a boat is probably the best place to do a murder.
That's why the death on the Nile is on the Nile. It's on the boat.
Just chuck it out of the fucking window and then boom. There goes your evidence.
Actually, you're right. Why didn't they just throw it off the window? Like,
Yeah,
nobody.
especially with the uniform.
Last. Like for 12 stabs, that's pretty bloodless too. Like, does he not have any blood in him?
Okay, that's actually right.
PG-13.
No. Yeah, you're right. But I also had to mention that, like, when it comes to what Agatha Christie and other people in her genre do. It's this kind of thing is called a cozy. It's like a cozy mystery. So it's not really supposed to be like very violent. It's not like a what they call like hard-boiled crime. Hard-boiled crime.
Yeah,
like
correct.
you know, so like it's supposed to be more polite. So hard-boiled crime, history lesson comes from after wanting to be like this is too nice, let's make it more violent, and you know that's where it comes from. So that's why there wasn't so much blood, but also Jobber said it's PG-13 and I was like okay,
Yeah.
it's PG-13 huh?
Yeah. But anyway, with all that being said, what would you rate this movie?
That's really stupid. I'll give it a 5.
Beginning of this, we were like, we kind of like this movie.
No, because the more we discussed it amongst each other, the more the plot holes came out.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
go ahead, Enzo. You were already starting.
It's nice. It's a nice thing to, not nice, but like something to watch with your family if you're like, I don't know what to watch. Can you watch this? It's got, look at all the people you like. Just watch this.
Yeah, fair.
Good acting. Story, you're like, I don't know that, I'm not sure if you know how to draw a straight line, but it's decent enough.
It's decent enough.
Mystery, the mystery makes more mysteries when you think about it. You're like, no, how do you know that Cossetti's the bad guy? You never said, oh, we found his fingerprints in the murder weapon. No, nothing. So, yeah, that's about it. Like, performances are good. Cast did their job to what they were written pretty well, and it's directed well too, but writing wise, it's biggest weakness. So, 5 out of 10.
How about you, Nina?
I was also gonna give it a 5 out of 10. If not just this, like, not just to like soothe my soul just a little bit for putting in so many big actors and giving this. Now, I'm going to be honest in saying that for as biased as I am, and I hate to say it, Sir Kenneth Branagh's direction every so often is really weird. Like, the first moment that it came up was when he had Josh Gad. So it's like Book, Poirot, and Josh Gad's character, McQueen. And like, it's so cramped, right? But you're going to see this in your second shot because once you see it, you'll never forget if you watch it ever again. You're going to see when he's explaining himself, he's going in between them, but he does this. Like, you know how when someone's pacing, it's supposed to be mindless, and yet he's thinking because he's doing this. And I'm like, what was the point of making him walk? Like, why is he walking in this cramped thing? And that was the first moment where I said, this movie isn't as I remembered it to be. I'm very disappointed.
It isn't as good as I remember.
Yeah, I know. And like Enzo said, like, the performances, I will have to admit, are great. If anything, that is the only saving grace. The visuals were, I thought the visuals were going to be better. I was disappointed. And so, oh my god. I'm so sad because I love this genre, and yet it was done so sadly. And I was like, okay. And like, I can't, I have to say it, you know? I have to verbally say it. Oh my god. And like, and the writing, especially the omniscience the omniscience of Poirot. It was like, why? And now I remember why this movie didn't make a lot of money. I thought I was
Yeah.
stupid. I thought I was just stupid when I first watched it. I said, sure, I'll be on for the ride. But now that I was spoiled, like spoiled not in like the spoilers, but like I was spoiled from Knives Out and Glass Onion when I see a really great mystery with heart being done, and then I see this, and it's just like, you could have been so much better. You're just like you could have been so much better. So yeah, I have to give it a 5 out of 10, and I'm so sorry because I loved so many of the actors, and it could not. It's bad when I say the actors only are the reason I'm just giving it a 5 because it could have gone lower. So yeah.
Okay. So all I gotta say is, I don't think it's Sir Kenneth Branagh's fault. Dude is an amazing director, especially when we saw that last scene. I would say, please do another. Yes, I know they did a Death on the Nile. I would like, dude, I want them to continue. I love this character of Hercule Poirot. This is the Hercule Poirot that I see when I read the book. This character I love so much, especially I had a glimpse of it back in 2018 and fully watching it, and then now I'm discussing it and seeing how stupid it was. I see the potential.
Yeah.
Look, I see the potential. Screenwriting, please hire somebody else. Somebody who can actually cohesively write a murder mystery, but if you want to take this route, as Nina said, this is supposed to be a lighthearted crime novel. And they kind of took it to a very serious manner. I want them to do it, but just I can't bear screenwriters. Keep the director. Kenneth Branagh, I like. Even with the top-down bullshit.
Yeah. I would argue. I'm not argue. Sorry, I would want to add to Joma's point if your guys are okay with it. In that, like, what I would have wanted, rather than just instead of taking an adaptation, I just want them to take the idea of Poirot and make it their own, so that they're not so confined into the ideas of what Poirot can and can't be, but instead create their own character and create their own like kind of story, so that they don't have to follow this so strictly, right? Because the issue with adaptations is when it's been done very well, sometimes trying to create, if you don't find a way to creatively put your own spin into things, it falls very flat. And you're just confining yourself for no reason when you could just make your own thing. Like if I said if they took the traits of Hercule Poirot and then put it in another thing, I think it could have done a lot better. Rather than like just trying to make something because name, Yeah. So yeah.
I gotta be on the same boat here, and it's a 5 out of 10. Cause like, it's such a waste. I like
really
this movie. When I was watching it, I was enjoying it, and then now I'm looking at it, thinking about it, I'm like, this is stupid. There's the whole omniscient shit. There's a lot of things that wasn't explained, as we've all pretty much complained about. And I will say a lot of this movie was fudge. So, oh well, it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie. Let's just say it's a movie.
I
want more. I have yet to see Death on the Nile. I will watch it, and we will do a review on it, because I have faith in this franchise. There's a little hiccup, which is the start, and now, hopefully, they go this way.
Yeah.
Like JoJo.
Well,
The season has got to end, and now they should go this way.
We'll definitely
I hope
revisit
it's-
this genre.
Yeah. Sorry?
No, I said we'll
Yeah, we
definitely.
didn't hear you, man.
Who was trying to speak? Because I was like, is it me or I stopped because Enzo was talking, but then he stopped because he heard me. So Enzo, you go first.
No, let Nino go first. I don't hear what Nino says.
I already forgot my
Close the
point.
video.
Yeah, Enzo.
Sorry. We'll definitely revisit this genre because there's a lot of other movies we would like to tackle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so. I feel like. Oh, sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, like, there's so much potential after Knives Out and Glass Onion, because I think it created a demand for more things like this. So I really, really hope that whatever future iterations we get of this, like, I hope it only gets better from here because there's a reason it's so well beloved since like the late 1800s to now, you know. There's a reason why there's an audience for Glass Onion and there's an audience for Knives Out because people still love these things, you know. I'm kind of tired of that. I love like hard-boiled crime every so often, but I kind of want my like quirky whodunits now, you know. I want my quirky cast. So I think that we're at a good pace to bring this back. It just needs to be good is the thing. It just needs to be something with heart. So and it's more original stories if you think about that, if we get more. So Joma, take it away, please.
Anyway, did you guys like it? Did you not? Leave it down in the comments below and let us know. But if you want to see more of us, leave a like, subscribe, ding the bell icon to be notified of any future content that comes up. And what are socials, Enzo?
Well,
you can tell I haven't memorized it.
I mean, honestly, like I told you in the last time when I did Glass Onion, like the fact Enzo has it down pat. Go, Enzo.
Okay.
We use you.
Well, you can find us at Facebook, TikTok, and Spotify. Facebook to see us react to trailers and stream games and about our live from time to time. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and you'll definitely see bits of this on that. Spotify to see our to hear us on the go, whether you're cruising down the Nile or enjoying the sights of Europe that we butchered along this video. But a few announcements. We do have a new series coming up. We can't wait for you guys to see that. And next week we're going back to the 90s, and one of the things we're going to tackle is a character that many do consider the world's greatest detective. Yay!
Hey.
But individually, you can find me at Gandelvis1995 on Twitter. How about you do?
How about you, Dina?
Okay, I'm Nina on Twitter, Instagram. I think that's my only active stuff. You, Joma.
Anyway, you can find me at JomGOM_ on Instagram. It is my article. Anyway, this has been our video and our week for Murder Mystery and the whodunits. And we'll see all you geeks and degenerates next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.